Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am your host for today, Laura Lalaki, international real estate agent. And today we're diving into a topic that's sure to spark some strong debates and opinions. Both Chris Brown and Neo have openly shared that they prefer non-monogamous relationships, choosing to have multiple girlfriends as their way of life. Now, this brings up some pretty big questions. How do these relationship choices affect the women involved emotionally and mentally and even financially? Are traditional ideas about love and commitment changing, or are all these examples just unique to celebrity culture? So we're going to unpack what these decisions mean for relationships and expectations, and the things that we put on love, and the impact this has on self-worth and stability and happiness. You see, we already going down this rabbit hole. That's a lot involved. So we've got a dynamic panel to weigh in, and I do believe I am the only married panelist on today. So my perspective is going to be a little different. But we have Athena Gardner, our CPA and wealth coach. We have Marlo Layson, our TV and film producer. And we have Tiara Williams, our producer and actress. And all the beautiful things that we do around here is because of her. So listen, I want to pull up this video because this is going to get our conversation started. But before we do that, I want to ask the ladies, since they're single, just yes and no answer. Would you date someone who told you up front that he is not monogamous? Tiara.
I have. Yes.
Athena.
No.
I love the face.
No, that's not for me.
All right. So let's see what Neo has to say.
I realized that I've not been living my truth for a very, very long time. I'm living it now. Great, you can tell mentally, emotionally, and everything, and everything else. I'm in a really good space, and I realized that everything is not for everybody. I know you've heard that said before.
Yes.
It is some of the truest shit that anyone has ever said. Everything is not for everybody. Okay, society tells you that you're supposed to be with one person. You get married and y'all supposed to be together forever. I am not shitting on marriage. I am not shitting on anyone who has figured out how to make that thing work for them. Mm-hmm. Again, everything's not for everybody. Monogamy is for you. Mm-hmm. It's not for me. I realize this. I know this now. And it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders. I realized I spent so much time lying and trying to be somebody that I wasn't for the sake of somebody else. Mm-hmm. Complete and utter time wasted when I could have just been exactly who I am, said exactly what I want, exactly how I'm rocking, exactly how I'm not, and then waited for those people to gravitate to me. Because that's my reality now. That's my reality now. I don't have to lie anymore. And I'd be damned if I ever go back to that person that needed to lie for the appeasement of somebody else. I'm not that.
Most people need to apply to their life.
I agree. I won't say women completely give men a bad rap. We earn it. A
Some
lot
of y'all earn, but a lot of it is we have to take the responsibility.
The reality is this: you're either going to be unapologetically who you are, or you're going to spend a whole lot of time lying, trying to be somebody that you're not. I spent a lot of time lying, trying to be somebody that I was not. And now that I realize who I am, it's like all of my relationships have improved from friendships on down to my ex-wife. Like we're actually at a place where we can call each other friend again, because now this is me. This is who I am. Love it or leave it alone.
Okay, well, I can be honest and say I would rather someone tell me that up front so I can make the decision for myself. However, in today's society, just like this young lady who was interviewing him, I'm sorry, y'all, but I felt like in her mind, she was thinking to herself, I can change that. Just by the way she was interviewing him. So I'm going to ask you, Tiara, what's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear someone say monogamy isn't for me?
Okay, y'all. Story time. Just real quick. Actually, I met someone who this was his stance, and he wasn't a monogamous relationship, and then he married a woman who was a polyamorous, and so she introduced him to this lifestyle, and he's been this way for the last 15 years. In my mind, when I met, I was like, oh, we connect on so many levels, but this is just one thing, right? Like this one thing. And I complained about it all the time, and I would just say, like, I mean, well, why get married if you want to date like a whole bunch of women? He'd be like, I just want to be married. But I'm saying, like, the idea is we're married, we live our lives married like a married couple, but like from time to time we just, go to the like a swingers club. And I was like, I can't live my life this way, sir. Like, I can't, but I entertained the conversation way too long. So I understand how women, just because I thought he was a great guy. So it was strange but women are doing it. Like, he had tons of options, and I just couldn't wrap my mind around me actually stepping into a space, because what it meant for me. I said, this is too much for me. Like, when he started explaining what it was and what the lifestyle entailed, I was like, oh man, that's crazy. Well, good luck with that, sir. And we never talked again. You ain't about to throw my pH balance off messing with you. Like, I can't do it. So I just think that there's women. What I learned from him is that women are doing it, and they are doing it. Like, they are okay. And I'm talking about, he wasn't like a celebrity or nothing. He was just a regular dude, like working a regular job. Trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here. Anyway, but yeah, that's what happened.
Well, actually, I just got introduced to that word. I didn't even know what it was. That's just how out of tune I am with what's going on in the world. Because one of my associates in the real estate world came out on Instagram and was like, she was living her polyglamorous life. And I was like, what? What's that? And I had to go and look it up. I didn't know what it was. And then I was like, okay, not for me. And there's probably too much information. Maybe your clients. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you come out and just say that. So Marlo, do you think that monogamy is a personal choice, or is it a societal expectation?
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, right? I think we're taught that you should aspire to relationship and marriage and family and all of that stuff. But also, I think you have to be honest with who you are. All of these extra people is not for me, honey. First of all, I don't want to be bothered. So why are you here, sis? Like, you here every day, you in the mix. I couldn't take it. It's not for me. No. But I understand for people who want to do it. I saw some people in the grocery store, y'all. I kid you not. Before I even knew that this was the topic for today, I saw some people in the grocery store on yesterday, and they were in a poly relationship. And I guess the extra dude was like a sub, because the one man was like talking all the way down to him. He wouldn't let him pick the turkey up. He like told him, you don't get to pick the fucking turkey, right? And like, he goes and moves his turkey so viciously out of the way and picks another turkey, puts it in the basket, pulls the woman, and is like, he's on the couch tonight. And I was like, oh, y'all together, like, just in the Kroger with it, right? They was just in the Kroger, not even worried about me. So I think if you like it, honey, like the old African-American proverb says, if you like it, I love it. But it's not my thing. I can't kick it with it. Nah.
It's a lot.
And that's why I am. I'm like, I don't need to be in your bedroom. That's none of my business. But, I don't care. As long as you're not hurting someone else and everyone is in an understanding and loving relationship, that ain't my business. But it ain't for my bed. No. So that would be a no. Athena. No, go ahead, Tiara.
I was gonna say, I think women just say yes to it because I guess they feel like, listen, if he gonna be out here cheating, if I date him and he cheats on me, we might as well have this open situation where I already know what to expect. I mean, you can say it's an esteem thing. I mean, we've talked about this with Cam Newton and Jasmine and all these different people, but I just think it's so interesting that women just say, like, I'm gonna go into this knowing that this man might want variety, and so I'm gonna just give it to him up front, It's interesting. Like, after getting schooled in it, I couldn't do it, but I definitely was like, and then what? And then y'all do what? And then and then what would I do? Like, I mean, but to be honest, it like promoted non-jealousy. Like, he was like, I would never be jealous if a man was having sex with you. I was like, What?
But I'm gonna need you to be. I'm gonna need you to be.
It was just so interesting. It was different. But I didn't go. Oh, y'all see, I didn't go down that river. So yeah, there's that.
Okay, well, I mean, we have shows and stuff that are out there that also, the Sister Wives show that was, I don't know if it's still in rotation, but I mean, it was constantly in that, but they also had issues too.
It devolved into a hot, dirty, funky mess. I never watched the show, but when it all fell apart and social media got a hold of it, I was like, oh, I thought y'all were so in love. I thought that this was the Lord's way. I thought, honey, all of that stuff fell out. Him and the first wife ain't together. I don't think poly is the way, but y'all do y'all thing.
I don't think so either.
I'm cheering for you, but I ain't gonna do it.
No, it ain't for me. So, but now, Athena, you've always shared, your experiences with us. So, with this all being said, and even all jokes aside, what do you define as a healthy relationship? Is this something part of your world that you would consider?
That's a lot. Okay, so all right, so I've had offers of different things throughout my lifetime. Thus far, as I've told you ladies before, I've had a married couple approach me about things. A wife that knew her husband, both of them like to swing, and they were inviting me and wanting me to partake. I passed on that. I've had rich men who've had multiple girlfriends and wanted me to be in the lineup with the girlfriends, and I was going to get my own place and my own car, my own card, and my own everything. And I still passed on all that. I've met men who are polyamorous or polygamous or whatever. However, those men never allowed the women to do other things. It was just with them. And for me, what I realized in dating and relationships is that I need someone with me 24/7. I can't have my man going out, even if it was something I could entertain. First of all, I'm not trying to get nobody Gouda cheese on me, honey. Okay, what Gouda cheese, Swiss cheese, blue cheese, whatever cheese, woman. Everybody cheesed up, mac and cheese. Like, I just need my pH to remain where it's at all times, right? The other side of things is that I've noticed men who move that way, they don't really, their capacity to love is not, they tend to be very transactional. They tend to have either upbringing or emotional issues, and they don't really love the woman like that. Wow. And to be honest with you, the ones that they do really like are never the original woman who said, okay, honey, I will allow you to do this. It's usually the ones they get later on, and the ones who stress them the hell out actually are the ones who get everything. And I've met people who have been, like, from a religious standpoint, like Muslim, who do the multiple women because the men provide or whatever. And I've met other situations, and there's rarely any longevity in it. In the end, all of it tends to fall apart. And it's usually either the original wife is there or the last one is there. So there's no longevity in it. What I will say is I'm glad Neo and Chris Brown is open and honest about where they're at in their journey. I think maybe they've tried to do the monogamy relationship thing and realize that, it's not working out for them. What is not working out for them, and this is my opinion, is that a lot of these men know they want a thought and bop. They're just being honest about it. Listen, I want a thought and bop, and I don't want to have any financial consequence of thought and bopping. And marriage brings financial consequence, because when you do cheat within a marriage, women have a hard time getting over that and will divorce you, and you will have some kind of financial penal penalty. So what these men are really saying is not necessarily polygamy or whatever they're really excited of. Is like, listen, I'm a thought and bop. You can have a thought and bop with me, or I'm going to thought and bop with someone else, but I'm not going to marry you and try to do this whole family thing, because I don't want to I don't want to discipline myself sexually. I don't want to face any financial consequences of doing so. I don't want to pretend like I am emotionally and invested in creating family structures, because clearly I'm fine with having my seed everywhere with every type of woman. They're just being honest about their degeneracy, and it's up to women to accept that or not.
And I think you hit a lot of things that we're going to definitely continue this conversation, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Hey, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. I am Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I am the proud producer of this show. So I hope that every day when you join us, you leave a little smarter than you came, because that's the point. Otherwise, why are you watching? So if you want to receive notices for when we go live, Fly Nubian Money goes live every single day. That's Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know, now you know. All you have to do is text the word Queens. That's Queens. That's Queens to 87948. That's 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Yes. If you want.
Yes, go ahead and do that right now. Text the word Queens, Queens, to 87948 so that you don't miss a show, because we are talking about some really relevant things, and want to hear your thoughts as well. Today, we're talking about how Chris Brown and Neo are not interested in a monogamous relationship. I want to hear what our family has to say out there. Are you open to having more than one relationship within a relationship or not? And if not, why? Because I'm going to tell you, for me and my life and my household, I want to make it very clear that it is not. And my husband actually feels the same way. He is extremely strong-minded about men cheating. He's always been that way. So, and that was one thing that also drew me near him, because I have been cheated on before, and I'm not about that life. I got too much empathy in my heart. I'm an easy soul. You hurt me, and I'm going to be hurt for a very long time. So, Tiara, do you think, what do you think that makes a relationship successful? Is it commitment? Is it trust? Or is it something else?
Yeah, it's all of that. It has to start with a natural desire for one another. Like you can't, you just have to want it. You have to want it with the other person. I think it requires all of those things that you just said, but it has to start with two people that want to choose one another. And then after you get through that, then you can just say, okay, now what other things do we need to do to make this work? Like, the other things, but I think you just have to want it.
I agree, because it's actually not just one thing. You have to be equally yoked on so many different levels. And everybody always wants the magic answer. I hear that question all the time. What is your magic answer? There isn't a magic answer. You have to work at it. And if you really want it and you feel that it's worth it, you will work at it regardless. My mother gave me great advice when I was a young girl. She told me that if you ever get married and you feel like you are going to lose it and you want to divorce the man, you truly have to sit back and think upon the times that you had together, if it wasn't something crazy, on why you wanted to be married to this person in the first place, and tap into that. And that advice served me well. And we do that. You may be mad about something silly at the point, your first point, but then you got to think back on, why did you want to be wooed by this person in the first place? What made you want to put that ring on your finger? And I take that advice to heart, and I tell that to my nieces and nephews and my son as well. But I want to check out some stats. We got some really interesting stats that kind of blew my mind. So let's look at the future of marriage. 40% of Americans are pessimistic about the institution of marriage and family. 25 are somewhat optimistic, and 29 say they are neither optimistic or pessimistic. And I thought that was really interesting. So, a YouGov in 2016 showed that 61% of Americans said that their ideal relationship was completely monogamous. Now, this is before COVID, guys. So check this out. The same poll in 2023 found that 34% of Americans want something other than a completely monogamous relationship. All right. So all of you ladies are single, but I want to know what your
Marlo's
friends
not single.
Well, I'm not married. I'm sorry, Marlo. She's not. She's taking.
She's
So
taken.
don't come
She's
a
in a
flirt.
relationship.
and don't go knocking.
Marlo is what she is on her tax return. So whatever she files as her taxes, that's what she is.
That's a good man, Savannah. That's a good man that Marlo got, Savannah. No.
I am talking to you ladies, right? But what about your circles? What are your circles saying? Do they agree with this statistic? Marlo, does it seem like consistent to what you know about other friends in your circle?
No, I mean, I have an array of friends. I have friends that are married. I have friends like me that have been married and are in some form of singledom. I have friends that have never been married before. I think that people are making choices that are best for them. I think that people are breaking. I think that what the statistics say to me is people are breaking away from the fairy tale, right? People are starting to see marriage realistically and not as this sweep you off your feet, picket fence, all this other BS that we've been fed through, films and fairy tales and books and all of that fiction, right? I think that most people are just trying to figure it out. Most of the people that I know want somebody to roll into retirement with. Most people that I know want somebody that's going to be a travel companion and a friend and go to this thing and early bird lunch. Like most of the people that I know want to get to that place with one singular other person. But I also know a lot of the younger generations that want to try out this poly stuff. And I think that a lot of that is just seeing it, right? I think a lot of it is just exposure. I never was exposed to poly other than, what I read in books about it. Now it's like every third post on my timeline, right? It's the people that were in the Kroger the other day. Like it's everywhere, right? And so I think that it's also exposure that is kind of changing people's minds and opening people's minds to different possibilities in relationships. Some people saw horrible marriages. Some people lived in homes with terrible abusive marriages where people were financially abusive and physically abusive and sexually abusive. So some people want no part of what their childhood reference is for marriage. And, I think it's,
and my childhood reference was everybody was married. Like that was my goal. All of my aunties and uncles, and I mean a long-term marriage, so to me, that was my goal. That's what I wanted. But we're going to take a deep breath, and we're loving all the comments. Keep the comments coming. We'll be right back.
You want to grow your money and not blow your money, as Constance says, check us out at flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, programs, videos, resources. In 2024, there's no reason to be broke when there's information all around us. So get your money right. flynubianmoney.com.
Get your money right. flynubian.com. Now listen, it's the end of the year, y'all. We are really less than a blink to 2025. And if you struggled this year, you couldn't get your money together, now is the time. Do not wait to the beginning of the year and say, oh, it's financial resolutions, it's holidays, I'm just going to spend whatever I want to and keep going. No, you need to start getting your money right now. So we have a lot of great resources for you on flynubianmoney.com. Please go there and really start looking at your financial status, because believe it or not, things are going to change, and they're going to be changing fast. So don't wait. And any day that you start is now. Start now. So make sure that you go to flynubianmoney.com. Now, we've been talking about Neo and how he was very honest and just upfront. So let's see what Chris Brown has to say.
Are you in a relationship right now?
Me? Am I in a relationship?
Yup.
I'm in multiple. What do you mean?
Like more than one girlfriend?
Something like that.
Okay. And how do you balance that? Because that's a lot of balance unless they just
keep it 100. Just be honest.
The most expensive thing you ever got for a girl?
Man. The most expensive thing on one thing, probably like a $300,000-$400,000 ring.
$300,000-$400,000 ring?
Yeah, ring, yeah.
God damn.
Not like a wedding ring, just a ring.
Word. Man, just a ring?
Mm-hmm.
Like a promise ring?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I need you to stop being childish. That the whole thing just seems so childish to me. All this, I'm like, what was that all about? I mean, the whole thing was like a little boyish to me. But I want to share a comment that we have from Black Lexicon, and he says it's emotionally difficult for men to be monogamous. I'm going to ask Athena. Athena, how do you feel about that comment? What do you think? Is he right?
Anything of value and quality is always difficult, right? And anything of value and quality is always difficult. Now, you can take the easy path, right? And degeneracy is very easy. It's very easy to get in nonsense. It's very easy to be wild, to do drugs, to do whatever. It takes discipline as a person to achieve anything of quality and greatness in this life. So whatever, listen, I'm not even arguing with this. If they want to be degenerates out here and, you know, spread Gouda cheese every which way they want to spread the Gouda cheese, that is fine. But my issue sometimes, especially with the men, is that you want all this respect. You want all this respect from the women. You want us to have all this submission and respect, and you're not giving us things to submit to and respect, right? All this complaining about the white man and the European slavery and all this other stuff, and we can't even make basic ass moves that they make. Simple moves. This is not even nothing revolutionary. Marriage is one of the most basic things you can do in life. I don't know why we uphold it as this high-ass ideal in the Black community. It's not that hard. Find someone to commit something to, because what happens in the last chapter of your life, you're doing things now when you're ripping and running, but when that arthritis kick in, and that guy with that high blood pressure, and all your little side hoes and either died, fell off, or found somebody else to be with, you upset. You upset. I remember talking to my dad. My dad turned 60 next year. I remember having a conversation with him. He said, I am so glad at this point in my life, I have a wife.
Yes.
Okay, I have a wife. Only all the other men in his company divorced. Only him and another guy divorced. I asked him why everybody divorced. Like, what's going on? I'm expecting him to say, you know, the women difficult, all this. You know what my dad said? My dad said, he would never say this in front of these guys, by the way. He would never say this. But my dad said that the mistake they made was thinking all they had to do was make money. And they never treated their wives as real partners. They treated their wives like the help. And all they have to show for it now is whatever they have, a trailer or wherever they live in, that, and a dog. And they thinking now that they can come and swoop up any woman. They're old. No woman will talk to them unless they have some money, which most of them don't have because of the divorce. It is a sad and lonely road. Mm-hmm. Now, Chris Brown, me, and all these celebrity men are propping up this image that it's great. Maybe they can do that because the cash flow, and a bird will attach themselves. You know, women are desperate in that way. I'm sorry, will attach themselves to whatever. But you, as a regular person functioning in this society, you think that you're going to be able to keep that up? God bless you. God bless you.
I agree, because at some point you gotta really look at the realistic matter of things. I mean, when I say I want to grow old with my husband, I mean that. I see us on the rocking chair watching the grandbabies and the great grandbabies. It's really important to me to have that in a relationship. But we actually had a comment that I thought that was extremely interesting. Day One Love said, usually they've been hurt and don't want to entertain a love relationship. And I'm assuming, you know, the gentlemen who are agreeing to this type of life. But tagging on to what Athena said, this here is really interesting. A YouGov poll finds the majority of Americans, 55%, prefer, you know, a monogamous relationship. But Tiara, I want to know what you think about the comment about these men have typically been hurt. Do you agree with that, or do you just think that they want to have their cake and eat it too?
Yeah, I think it's both. I mean, I think when a man opens himself up and he's vulnerable and he gets hurt, it's very hard for him to then go and do that again. There's a part of him that is no longer there. Now it's easier. Women can pick themselves up and meet somebody and be like, well, I know I was just with Tyrone, but listen, Mark might be the one. Well, you know what I'm saying? So we can pick ourselves up and dust ourselves off. Usually it takes a little longer, but we can jump back into a relationship and love somebody wholeheartedly. I don't believe that men can do that. I just want to say really quick, I think also that it's conditioning to piggyback off of what Athena said, and I think she so eloquently said it, but the question that you asked her, I just think a lot of that is like conditioning. Like we don't, I know we talk about white supremacy a lot on this channel, but I feel like there is a breakdown in the Black family, and a lot of this, like throwing in a lot of distractions and lust, and us paying attention to the things that are in our music, and just I just think that it's conditioning for our Black men to either, want to be with a lot of women and not commit to one woman and not want to build a family and have all these broken homes all over the place. I just think that's very intentional. And I can't say who they is at this moment, but I feel like, because I can't say it's one person. We all say, who is they? But it's the system. It's the conditioning. I just feel like they've taught us to hate one another in a way, and hate the idea of family, hate the idea of commitment, while they are off doing the same things, building so much wealth, and really keeping their agendas and their communities moving forward. And we sit here
Well,
trying to
look at
figure out, huh?
Musk. Okay, we're going to look at Musk. He is doing the exact same thing. He's not married to these women. He has multiple kids, and he plans on spreading his seed to however many, and he's built a whole compound. So not only that, you have those type of people telling men that it's okay to do so, and the women should fall in line.
Did you say Musk, like Elon Musk? That's
Yeah,
worth $350 billion. That's going to be
yeah,
the first trillionaire.
exactly. But
Okay.
he's setting up the stage. He's setting up the stage. A lot of our Black men admire him. Let's be
First
honest.
of all, only 6%. I keep bringing this stat back up. 6% of U.S. Black adults make $100K or more. So we cannot compare 350 billion.
Billions.
To less than 100.
It still comes down to relationship.
That's why I said we need to bring it down to where we at in reality.
No, because to me, that still is the principle. You remove the money, it's still the message. It's still the message. Are young Black men listening to this message? Oh, I like this debate. Marlo, do you think I'm off?
I see where you going.
See what you gotta do?
I see.
Lola, you like that movie Wrong Turn? You know that Wrong Turn movie?
I see the direction, but what I'm saying is some cotton fields or something back there. It's a dead end back there. Just don't turn back around and come on back this way, because the reality is they should not be listening. Listen in your tax bracket, big homie. You should not be listening to Elon Musk. You shouldn't even be listening to Toby Wait. None of them don't listen to these dudes, because that's not your tax bracket. You can't support them people. Don't do that. Back to the polygamy.
Toby is just not with Fat. Is Toby a wing away? Is he doing what? I thought he was just with one woman.
Listen, we need to do a whole show on him. But he didn't even. He said he didn't even want that woman like 5 babies in. I'm not gonna do. Don't start me with Toby nigga way. But
talk about it, Marlo.
Back to this other stuff, right? Chris Brown. I think I kind of get where Chris Brown is coming from. Chris Brown talk about stalkers in his house. He had it. The women were paying $3,000 to wrap their legs around him. If that's my man, I don't care how much you pay. I need y'all to do church pictures for the money. I want to control that in a relationship. So I can't really see it. from Neo, but if that's how you rocking, big dog, do it. Got
I
it.
mean, first of all,
But
Neo's a queen.
I,
What
Yes, honey. That's what I said after his video. I was like, yes, honey, you better do it. You a bad
you
bitch. You a bad bitch. You a bad bitch. Go ahead. Go
a
ahead. I'm
bad
sorry,
bitch.
Marlo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm focused. I'm focused. He a bad bitch. Go ahead. Go ahead.
That's
Listen,
so funny. See,
but
but
on the other
either
side,
one of them. So
yeah, I think I kind of get it from Chris Brown, and I think everybody's already said it. If they being honest, I don't care. It's when we get into the lighting, the gaslighting. It's when we get into the lying. It's when you got your mama lying for you. It's when you got your little cousin riding everywhere with you so that you can have an alibi when you dipping off in the hotels and doing all this. It's the silly stuff, because if you don't want to be in a relationship, lock it up. Lock it
yeah,
up. You
yeah.
know, wrap that thing up. If you don't want to be in a relationship, don't be having these kids in these broken homes, and then you talking about slavery. Well, you perpetuating what was done then. Break the cycle, my dude. Like, it's not that hard,
You have
but
the
it's
power.
exhausting. It's exhausting, y'all. The people don't want to be sexually disciplined. They don't want to be sexually responsible. They just want to be able to say they broke Wilt Chamberlain's record. And like, okay, yes, see White,
Just the
Dusty
thought of
Babe.
that. I can't even do it. I can't even do it. But I obviously am going to have to go and redeem myself. So let's go ahead and have a break. We'll be right back.
Fly Nubian Money is now on Spotify. Yes, yes, yes. We are on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, you can listen to us. All you have to do is search Fly Nubian Money and we will appear. All of our episodes. Make sure that you leave a 5-star rating and reviews so other people that come along and are looking for a good show to watch, they'll follow us too. If you are interested in being on Fly Nubian Money, sorry, I don't have any spaces. I'm just playing. If you are interested in being a queen or a king on Fly Nubian Money for the day, please reach out to me. I'm at info@realvirtual.net. That's info@realvirtual.net. Also, if you need help with your business, go ahead and send me an email for that too. Okay. I've said enough. Now back to the show.
You have been given your assignments. If you want to get in on this and sit on our panel, we would love to have you. So it's really not that hard to do, and we would be tickled to have you. So all you've got to do is make sure you send us an email at info@realvirtual.net. And then you can get in on the conversation as well. But listen, don't forget that if you can't see us live, we really would love for you to subscribe to us on Spotify. And while you're over there, help other people find us too by giving us a 5-star rating. So let's get back into this conversation. Tiara, do you think society unfairly judges people who choose non-traditional relationships?
Yes. I mean, I think we definitely look at them. We have a tendency to, obviously, the standard has been monogamy, heterosexuality. That has been the way, it's been built around here, right? So to do anything outside of that, people look, it's considered provocative, it's considered out of the norm. And so, I want people to live their truths. I think that's basically what Marlo was just saying. You want people, listen, if want to date boys and girls and all the things, and boys or just boys or whatever, I want people to be themselves. That way, like Athena said, you're not giving me no Gouda cheese or or whatever kind of cheese on it, giving that to me because I don't want it. So I would prefer that. But I think people are looked at because they think a little different. And I know a lot of people that think outside the box. As a matter of fact, I think it's my journalistic mind, but I can always, the only reason why I entertained a conversation with somebody who was polyamorous is because I was like, well, let me just see what I think it was a curiosity of like, what now, what y'all do? And he explained the whole underbelly of it to me, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I can't do that. Jesus is, yeah, because I felt like so prudish, y'all. Like I felt like a prude. I said, yeah, this wouldn't work for me. This won't work for me. I just was raised in a different way, so it's not gonna work. But so yes, because I can understand it, but a lot of people aren't like me and inquiring and just saying, okay, tell me about it. oh, okay. People aren't like that.
You can educate me, but that don't mean I got to go down your path because I'm like you. I'm sorry, Jesus watching me. I can't do that. To me, that's my lifestyle. That's my belief. Like I said, what you doing in your bedroom, as long as you ain't hurt no babies, no elderly, and no animals, then you do your thing. But Joe, our awesome therapist, he chimed in and he said, society is judgmental, period, regardless of what you do. So you might as well seek peace. And I agree with that. You do you, boo, as long as you ain't hurting nobody else. But I'm actually going to kind of switch it over a little bit because this is a thing. Athena, we're going to kind of switch it over to finances a little bit. And I know that you have stats and you're our CPA. So how do you think maintaining multiple relationships impacts a person's finances?
Now, I know we have a bunch of noteps in the chat, right? And what y'all don't know is that I study comedic science. I study all of that. So I know all of that too. And those type of marriages that happened in Africa that were polygamous was a way to distribute wealth, okay? So what you guys are promoting is poverty because you guys don't have any wealth to distribute anyway. What you're distributing is childhood trauma to the kids that don't get you as a full-time parent, and dust. That is what you're distributing. Okay?
You cooking today, Athena. Go ahead.
I'm cooking like it's hot fish grease in here, okay? Only 30% of African Americans in the United States were married compared to 48% of all Americans, right? And our marriage rate has declining. Do you think our decline, our wealth decline is not correlated to that? Marriage is one of the biggest economic vehicles. One of the best vehicles to raise children. There's studies on this. Do you have better outcomes? We want to advance as Black people, and you think we can just cut that piece of it out? How are we doing with that? How are we doing with that? Right? Now, degeneracy and sexual deviancy and dust comes in all shapes, flavors, and tax brackets, right? And we are just seeing that. But what I'm saying is Black men who y'all say y'all want to lead and y'all the leaders and y'all got all this strength. You don't have the strength to discipline yourself, to sexually discipline yourself. You are not above an animal in the wild. You are not above trying to be a conscientious human being. You're not above trying to give a woman and a child something that a lot of you did not have in childhood. You're not above that. Is that what you are saying to me today? Is that what you're saying today on this? Right? I don't give a damn what kente cloth and who you read and this, that, and the third. When it comes time to brass tacks, okay, for you to go out and display the masculinity you say you have, for you to go out and earn, for you to go out and marry, and to go out and show up in a certain way. Y'all don't have no energy for that, but you have all philosophical and conscientious when we are on this platform talking. I don't want to hear none of that today. Right? If you want to fall down the rabbit hole of men who have the money to actually distribute wealth, then fine. But if that is not you, you should not even be looking at that.
9 times out of 10, they can't even do one person. So Marlo, I'm going to ask you this because it's more than just money. It's more than just emotion. I think we all have something in us that longs for that one person who will understand us, that one person who we know that we can come home and fall into their arms and tell them our deepest, darkest feelings and our thoughts about what happened and our true feelings that don't go outside of our 4 walls. So how do you think this ties into the mental for our relationships? Do you think we should just let it roll off our back, or should we start to try to embrace these things a little better?
You mean embrace the polygluttousness?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that we need to. I probably don't go with the flow. So yeah, I won't be adopting this anytime soon. I don't see emotionally or mentally where it would benefit me. I think that getting to know one person is hard enough. And now I got to get to know a person that I'm only lukewarm about having here. I'm only cool with you being here because the person I really like wants you here. That to the girls, listen, somewhere in America, there's a girl that is playing this game. And I'm going to say to you, sis, break free. Break free of that shit, because you don't want to be there. You don't want to be the every other third wheel. You don't want to be the Mr. Flow fill in or whatever y'all got going over there. You don't want to be the light bill. You don't want to be the picker up and the taker of the kids that ain't even your kids. That's his kids. That's her kids. You picking them up. You the damn nanny. Break free. You don't want to be doing that. Like, I think that people are willing to go down, like, just be down with anything to be down. You know, my favorite, I slip this Tupac lyric in every chance I get. 17 like Brandy, you just want to be down. A man never said more conscientious words than that. Stop trying to be down. Stand on something or fall for anything. Like, you don't have to just be out here just doing what other people want you to do. If he wants to do that, if he wants to live a lifestyle, you know who else live lifestyles? Hoes. Women who sell their bodies are in a lifestyle where they don't want to be in a monogamous relationship. So let him go find the women that are for him. Let him go pay to play that game. Don't be out here playing these games with these dusty dudes just trying to have somebody, because what we know is it's somebody for everybody. That's not your somebody because he wants somebody else.
That's why I'm like, if you got to look somewhere else, you're not mine. And that's just the way that it is. You know, I can't get off of that. It's not okay with me. But here's what's interesting. We had someone comment, Julesum said, the social engineering against polygamy is so strong here. You're groomed for this in other cultures. The correct focus is unity or team player. Proper female submission is required. I'd like to understand your thoughts on what you consider female submission, because that is different for everybody. Some people are okay with certain hierarchies. We are taught that in the church, you know, head of household, whatever. But I'd like to know your explanation, and I hope that you do put that in there on what you think about that. Listen, we're going to take a quick break. This is hot and heavy, and we still got a lot to talk about. We'll be right back. We're claiming it. 2025 is your year for home ownership, and we are going to get you to that goal. Who's we? Fly Nubian Money Club and me, Laura Lala Key, international real estate agent, and we have a wonderful session for you about how to get you started on the path to home ownership. We'll cover the steps. We'll answer a lot of the questions that most people have, because when you are educated about this process, it makes it more fun and a little easier than if you step into it without knowing anything. I can't wait to spend some time with you to get your juices flowing and to get the excitement flowing, because 2025 is your year. Make sure that you come to this class and you invite someone else, because it really is important to own your own piece of land. I look forward to seeing you. Bye. December 7th, we are doing the thing. We are going to teach you how to have your own piece of land, because guess what? The saying is true. Buy land. They're not making it anymore. And we're going to have a wonderful class to introduce you to that, get you on the right path. And we're going to have a bonus that I'm going to keep very quiet about, because now you have to sign up. You need to know what else we're talking about other than that. So we'll see you on December 7th, but you have to sign up. You have to sign up. And here's how you do that. You go to flynubianmoneyclub.com so that you can get in early. Get your feet wet. We can't wait to have you. And I'm excited to spend some time with you. December 7th. Sign up for it today. Now, I'm going to throw a little wrench into this, because we're talking about emotions. We're talking about finances. But to me, our life is more those things. It's body, mind, and spirit. And one thing we haven't talked about is how this affects us in body. So, Tiara, I'd like to hear your thoughts on how you think having multiple partners has an effect on the body, positive or negative.
Yeah, one of the things I learned when I did several stints of my life being celibate is that, you know, when you exchange energy, obviously there's a spiritual exchange, but not only that, for women, that exchange lasts way longer, not, you know, in the form of like emotional ties and all of that, but like literally the person's DNA stays inside of you for like, I want to say up to like 15 years, I think, according to research. And so having all of this interaction with another human being, that person really stays with you. And it made me think from a spiritual and just like a physical and spiritual, like you're walking into the world and you're taking all of these people with you and all of this energy, and they're taking something from you. You are taking something from each other, transferring whatever is in both of your spiritual space, whether that person is just it could be anything. We're spiritual beings, so you're picking up whatever it is that they may be struggling with, or whatever, some of their demons, what we call them, are. So I just think that it's more than just, obviously there's diseases and you're putting yourself at risk for all kinds of other dangerous STD, STI, ST death. You putting yourself in harm's way for that. But also just like, just think about the physical, like your body literally, that person literally stays inside of you. Their DNA does. So, it's just something you want, you want to care. And I saw that Joe said something about like polyamorous relationships are not void of intimacy. The guy that I, was kind of talking to, he didn't have issues with that. But I do think that there was some type of like brokenness in him, even though it didn't come across, but there was like a brokenness. And so I feel like broke and hurt people. So he was broken in a way. And I think now, even though it comes off very like, it wasn't transactional, because he's like, yeah, I feel everyone I have interactions with. It was just an interesting way to think. And so I just, it's not for me, but like I said, if you're getting yourself into that situation, just understand what you're getting into.
I agree. There's so much connection in that I don't take that lightly. To me, my body is sacred, and so I protect it at all costs. Whether I'm eating, physical exercise every day. I struggled with my weight most of my life, but I knew that I had to get it in check, because I really feel like my body is a temple and I must treat it as such. So to me, I just didn't go throwing it out very often. As a matter of fact, I still think of that way. The first thing I think of is, oh, what kind of energy would I be bringing into my body, which affects mind and the spirit as well. And you're right. I was going to actually call up Joe's comment, because I thought that was extremely interesting to think about. Now, Big Mac thinks that we are going a little bit too hard on the men today, and I would like for you to explain yourself a little bit more, Big Mac. We know you here every day, you're dedicated, but I need you to open up and tell us why you think we're being so hard on that, because honestly, I think men come up with this more idea than women. And Athena, I want to ask you that. Do you think that this is a men-based thought majority of the time? Not to say that women don't, but do you think that this is mostly men who want this type of life?
Yes, because why I would even be pro polyamory, right? Pro polygamy. If you saying that you want to distribute the wealth, I don't have to work. All I have to do is worry about our kids. All I have to do is be relaxed. Then I would even say, all right, if women want that arrangement, fine. But most women don't have that arrangement. I still got to work. I still got to do all this while you can thought and bop however you please around here. Like, what are you really asking us to sign up for? Jules Sam was saying that women need to submit and have proper female submission. What do you want us to submit to? Dust? The reason why Black community and Black women are failing is because our men are not taking accountability for things. And when you actually come with receipts and you actually tell them what they need to do, since they have all this time to tell women they need to submit, you need to submit to making more money. You need to submit to providing for us. You need to submit in actually being, showing a lot of empathy and being involved in a relationship. Why can't you submit to that? The only thing you want to submit to is a sensation in your eggplant or your pickle or whatever it is you're working down there. Whatever it is, your Vienna sausage, whatever it is you're working down there. That's the only thing you have time, energy, money, effort to submit to. So I don't know why we're even, if you're such a leader, if the men are standing on business, I don't even know why this is such an issue. You should be like, you know what? Athena is right, because a lot of these other men, because I'm not like that. So all these other men are dusty. I don't even know what's going on. But Athena should be right. No, you have time to go back and forth with a woman on the internet. Then take that energy to make this a productive man in society. We are losing in categories when it comes to STD rates, when it comes to marriage rates, when it comes to any factor in society that promises well-being. Black women are adversely affected 2, 3, 4, 5 times than other counterparts because we entertain the dusty behavior from the men. And the men need to rise up and stand up. I'm not supporting no weak ass man. Strength only. And if you can't, on this day and age with Trump coming around, reparations 2025, in this day and age, if you are not going to get it, you are going to be left behind. And any woman who is weak enough to fall for the nonsense, I'm going to say a prayer for you and hope that your Gouda cheese and everything will remain all right. But it will not be me.
I think that gives us a lot to think about. But, ultimately, like I said, it's up to the people. But I think us as a society also will suffer when other people live these types of lifestyles, when you're considering that they also bring into broken homes, the children who are going to feel left out a lot of the times. If it's not structured properly where everyone is put into the proper mindset, this will eventually affect every single one of us. So it's something we do have to consider in our life, that, we're going to deal with the aftermath of what's going on, broken relationships, broken mental, physical, and the children that are left behind. But hey, we couldn't even get into everything that we wanted to get into, but it's something to give us pause and to think about, because we are hearing more and more about it. But it's time for us to wind it down, ladies and gentlemen. So I am going to ask my beautiful queens for their final thoughts and where we can find them. And I'm going to start with you, Marlo.
So search yourself, right? What is it that you are led to do? Not what somebody else is leading you to do, not what someone else is gaslighting you to do, not what someone else is pointing at who else will do it if you won't do it, right? What is it that you in your heart of hearts want to be doing? And then you'll always make the very best decision for yourself, for your kids, for your community, right? I think that the internet is our great gift, but it is also a super duper curse, because we get to peek behind curtains that we never got to peek behind before. We get to know people a little bit more closely and intimately than we once knew them, especially celebrities. And so a lot of these alternative lifestyles with people practice that have extra time on their hands, and they have all this expendable income, and they have access, and people want to invite them places, right? They live a different kind of lifestyle that opens them up to a different type of lifestyle. And I think that the curse of the internet is that this stuff gets spilled out and people say, I want to be like that. That's how I feel, because these women be tripping. Well, the women tripping because you in her car and she got to go to work and you ain't got no job. That's why tell the whole story, my G. That's why the woman is tripping. So I think that so much of what we have access to now in terms of what we learn through the internet is really adversely affecting Black communities when we think about it, because it is taking us away and getting our eyes off the ball. It's getting us more into this rugged individualism. And that's never kept Black people in this country. That has never sustained Black communities in this country. So when you think about it overarching, we do need to get to marriage, because there is data that says that that's how strong, healthy, thriving communities are built. But we also need to get back to critical thinking and separating fact from fiction, and thinking about how things best work and what are the best practices, the most realistic practices for our lives. I am Marlo Layson. If you want to know more about me, I'm out here on these internet streets. You can find me on Instagram. I'm Ora Marlo. That's my name, backward, forward, little underscore on the end. I'm also in the great big black blue sky. And on that platform, I am Lo McLeod.
Love it. I'm loving all that new platform too. It seems so peaceful there. Oh, I love it very much. Okay. Our fire goddess in red today, Athena, what are your final thoughts and where can we find you?
Listen, Marla was saying a word when she said we had to get back to critical thinking. And that is what I encourage all of us to do when it comes to relationships, and whether or not monogamy or polygamy or whatever EU we're going to come out with today is going to work and apply for our lives. Us as Black people, look at the statistics. Can we truly afford to even practice polygamy? All right. We do not have the wealth to distribute like these notes are saying in this live. So obviously that does not apply to us. But, whatever you guys want to do, that's fine. If you are looking to elevate from the dust that people are clearly trying to set us in, you can find me and all my information at elevatewithathena.com.
And that's easy. Make sure you do that. Make sure you follow our fire goddess. She's got a lot for you. And she has a lot of experience with what's going on out there. And she don't play no games. So make sure that you go and follow her on all social media platforms and check out her website. Now, my beautiful Tiara, what are your final thoughts and where can we find you?
Just a few things. I'm just going to say that, I just think we have to be reminded that, while we're off trying to do all of these things, it's really just like a distraction. I understand that Neo tried to be in a relationship. He tried to be in 2 marriages and they failed. And I'm not sure if polyamory is the answer, because, a little spicy. So I'm not really sure if that's that's the issue. But like Athena said at the end, like whatever works for them, they're just doing what works for them. But I could just tell you, if everybody had this idea, then it just wouldn't work for our community. So, I just wonder if it's really good for us, if adopting these mindsets that allow you to just to succumb to lust and the spirit of lust and the spirit of like greed and all of that. I mean, that's what that feels like to me. But like, like if that's what you need, go off, right? Today, I'm so thankful for you all. Like, I'm so grateful for you all. I've had a really rough weekend. I had to say goodbye to a really good friend of mine who often used to sit with me, and we used to talk about topics pertaining to this show. And she was just like a very important piece of my producing life. And so I just wanted to just take this moment to acknowledge her. I just want to tell my friend and my sister of the last 20 years, Taisha Brown, to rest in peace. Tell her that I love her, and I'm going to be thinking of her. I've been thinking of her. So I just want to say that out loud because I need to say it. And also, we are launching the Fly Nubian Money Club on December 7th. So if you have not been to the site, please, please, please go to the site. I want to make sure that you have, in this investment club, have all opportunities. Like, I'm finding all the assets so that you can really level up in 2025. I'm at Miss Black Hollywood. That's MSBLACK Hollywood across all platforms. Thank you.
All right, please make sure you go and follow her because she's got all the things going on. But we want to tell you that we love you very much, Tiara, and we're surrounding you in sisterly love as well. We know how it is when someone leaves our being here on this realm, but let us be known to you that we love you as well.
Thank you.
So here is my final thoughts. If it's for you, it's for you. That ain't for me. I'm not even going to worry about what you're doing behind your closed doors as long as you're not hurting someone else. But like I said, remember, your actions that you do behind your doors will spill outside of your 4 walls at some point. Really take into consideration what you're sending your children out in the world with, kind of messages that you are doing in your own home. But that's with everything that you do. For me, I want to protect my body, mind, and my spirit. And y'all have heard me say it before, and I'm going to say it every chance I get. I love my husband. I love you, Wilkie. And I would trade anything for you because you are my partner. And I'm proud to be called your wife. And you can find me at bit.ly/Laura Key Info. Got a lot of great resources for you there too to prepare for 2025 and also some fun stuff. So you want to just head on over there and get a lot of the things that I have for you. But listen, I also want to remind you, we've had a really spicy and fun conversation. We've had a lot of great comments, but you know, this is why exactly you need to partner with us. So if you have a business that you are trying to get your word out, this is the place for you. We go live 5 days a week at 1 p.m. on many different platforms. And as you can see, we have a lot of people that talk back to us and we talk to them. So if you're trying to get your business seen, just know that people are also looking for you. So let us help you make that connection. If you're interested in advertising on our platform, all you have to do is send us an email to our very memorable email. It's info@realvirtual.net. That's REEL virtual.net. And put in the subject line, Fly Nubian Money ads, so that we know to send you back our ad rates. And with that being said, we have a few more pieces of homework for you to do. Make sure that you also go to our Spotify channel, subscribe to us there. If you want to be on the panel, info@realvirtual.net, we'd love to have you. But most of all, you need to subscribe. Subscribe and make sure that you know when we go live. So text the word Queens, QUEENS, to 87948. And then you'll see when we go live every day. But lastly, but not least, we really do appreciate you more than you even know. Words are not enough to tell you just how much we appreciate you being here and spending your time with us, because you could be somewhere else, but you choose to be with us. And we are not taking that for granted. So thank you for being here. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys be blessed, and we'll see you soon. Bye.